Hello, crafty friends, and welcome back for day 27 of 30 Days of Sketches. Today's sketch is by Stacy at Scrapping Panda, and I'm also playing along with Mixed Media Mayhem, which we are to use 2 or more stencils, texture paste or glaze, and lots of splatter. And spoiler alert, I almost forget to do this part. I actually show you the layout at the end, thinking that I'm done, and then realized that I wanted to do some items to go along with this. So, since I have been documenting my niece's recent graduation from college, this sketch was perfect because it reminded me of a graduation cap. So that is what I'm going to create. And this is actually the very last page of her album, that there will be one more page that I'm showing that I used tomorrow's sketch for an earlier page. And but this particular one is the last page of the album. So here I'm using some baker's twine in black and white, and I'm attempting to make a tassel. In the end, I get there. It looks like a tassel, but there were a couple pieces that I could have done differently to make it go much easier. So here I have the essential tassel done, but then I didn't think about how I wanted to attach it to the page there. So here I am struggling to try and figure out how to get a piece of twine through all of those loops and essentially make another larger loop that I can attach around a brad in the center of the hat. So struggle, struggle, struggle. Here, eventually, I do end up tying it to the end of my stylus, and I get it through. So here, I cut it apart. I tie the top. I'm trying to decide: do I tie it tight, and then I tie a looser loop that I will use to dangle around the brad. So here I kind of skipped ahead, and you can see that I have trimmed my papers down, or not my papers, my pictures down just a little bit. That I had some extra that wasn't really needed in the photos, and this helped me get a little bit more room so you can tell that my diamond there is actually meant to represent a graduation cap. So here, just using a scrap from that same one of the Elizabeth Craft Reminiscence books, and there I have that. So here you can see I have glued down, oh no, I haven't glued down my graduation cap. And I can't remember if you saw it earlier, but I did actually cut this in half, thinking I was going to split it above and below the photos, and that looked funny, so I actually used some of my washi tape there to essentially stick it back together. And so here I'm testing out how far over I want to go. I'm going to mark where that's going to trim off, because since I did put that brad in through the middle, I needed to make up the difference for the metal on the back of that. So I'm just adding some foam adhesive so everything will lay flat on the layout there. So I just get that stuck on, a couple little extra pieces around there. And there we go. Clean up my mess, and we're going to get that put on. So far, so good. Getting all that put on. Now, here's where it would have been a good point to actually remember that I was going to do the Mixed Media Mayhem recipe along with this, but I did not. However, I made it work. So you'll see here in a little bit that I'm going to show you the layout thinking that I'm done, and I have to work around all the stuff that I have on the layout, but in the end it works out, and I actually like how it looks. So here again, I am just leveling out the difference in space between the foam that I have on the hat versus the little area on my photos that are hanging off, just so they don't bend differently, and I can stick them fully onto the layout there with the foam on the back. So there you can see that I have hung my tassel onto the layout, and I'm going to get my picture stuck down. Getting some liquid glue on there so the dry adhesive helps stick it right away, and then the liquid glue will help secure it for a longer term. So I do find my, not the foam, but the these foam strips, I guess you'd call them. I like to use them for shaker pockets, but they work really great if you want to raise up these quote laser pieces as well. So here I add my title. It says Shine. It's another bits and piece from my stash that I have been trying to use up, and I got several of these items used up here in this album, and that makes me happy. So there I get the little eye on there, and I do end up putting a glue dot on here to hold the tassel there specifically where I want it to hang. And so it just kind of looks like it's flowing there, but I want it to stay pretty much where it is. And I do put that flower on there. And I put these I put these two hearts on there. And here's where I think, yeah, I'm good. This is good. I end with that, and then, oh, I'm back. So here is, I use I think this is like a sparkle fade or something along those lines, and I'm using the Tim Holtz black texture paste, and I add 3 little bits on my graduation cap, so that is 1 stencil. And here I bring in this floral one for my second stencil. And I'm going to use some of this gold paint, which it's been a while since I used it, and I wasn't sure if the bit that I squeezed out was too thick or not to make it work, and it was working, so I put it through this stencil, and now I am officially done. So that is going to wrap up that part here. And so here is my splatter. I do have a few little bits of the Heidi Swapp gold shine left, so I was trying to get some of that used up here on this layout and get my splatters on there, and I have finally met the recipe. So that is pretty much gonna wrap things up for this layout. If you have any questions for me, please feel free to leave those down below. I will have a list for everybody playing along with both of the 30 Days of Sketches as well as the Mixed Media Mayhem. And I will have a list of my Instagram as well as my Pinterest accounts if you want to go see close-up photos of these and save them for your own inspiration. So thanks for stopping by. We'll see you next time. Bye.